Good day to you wherever you're watching us from, and welcome to another edition of Behind the News on the Nation TV. My name is Adidamola Ogubewa, and on this show we discuss trendy political news and news across the country. With me to discuss some of these issues today, we have our in-house analyst, Mr. Olakunle Abimbola. Good day to you, sir.
Good day, Damola. How are you doing?
Fine, sir. Very well. President Tinubu ordering security chiefs on the Kaduna attacks that took place on Tuesday, I think, where a lot of people were killed, young children, and the president condemned these attacks and has ordered security chiefs to fish out the perpetrators of this attack. And what do you think about this, sir?
What was that thing? It's another madness that has gripped the land. And, well, at times, I pity people in government because it's the same thing. When Buhari was there, we ordered them to go and this thing. Tinubu has come now, soldiering them. So, but it's not going to last forever. The great thing is that the security people are doing their best to stem the tide, by which they will cut down the reaction, and be a bit proactive. But it's not easy. A politician will tell you that the government is responsible and all that just to gain political points. Well, if this government is not opposition, they will say the same thing, just to get the votes. But the fact of the matter, you have a crisis, and what we need to do is a collective resolve to get the thing, to get done with the thing. Anything that will contribute to that, one is really, really painful for people just sleep in your house. To some of us, it's like fiction.
Yeah.
You sleep in your house, then some media just start shooting. They start killing your parents, your aunties, your relations for nothing. Although in the Kaduna, this southern Kaduna, I think, it has to do with the ancestral feuding over the years. People go and attack some people. Christians go and attack Muslims. Settlers go and attack natives. Natives now take their revenge. They are reported, and most times it's always one-sided reporting. So when you do one-sided reporting, the other side didn't report, has no recourse to nothing, but to sort of revenge the next time. So you have the next attack. I hope the state government, the Kaduna state governor, this one I really tried to really make first between the south and the north of Kaduna. But again, it's a process. I just hope I will them greater love. It's a very painful thing. You don't want to hear anything like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. We hope that the security chiefs, as the president has ordered them, will be able to fish out these attackers.
They will do their job. The president is just saying ordered for media, whatever. Because people will say, he didn't tell them to do anything. They know what to do. That's the truth. They know what to do when there's an attack. They prime their, their resources around. They go after automatically. But for the media and the public, the president has to say something to encourage them to be seen to be doing something. But it's just an ugly chain of events that we are better off without them.
Yeah. Also, here in the Nation newspaper, we see the report about xenophobia, the federal government engaging with South Africa's government, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs seeking to meet the President of South Africa, Ramaphosa. It's reported here in the Nation newspaper that in the last 4 years, 98 Nigerians have been killed in South Africa. Also, over 1,000 have been displaced from South Africa, where they had properties and houses, and they were forced to move out. Now, the government of Nigeria is seeking some justice, some compensation for these citizens. So what do you think about this progress?
I think that's the right thing to do. There was this rascally South African minister, a minister in the president's office, who was trivializing and banalizing the whole thing, that nobody was not going to pay anybody any compensation, that if the Nigerians who have been deported, who have been handed out of town, to come and show them where they are hiding the drug. Ironically, I think a week after she made that outlandish and wild, uncouth, and very stupid statement, there was a South African woman who was arrested at Abuja airport, transiting smuggling drugs from, I think, where was American lost to Vietnam or so.
Yes.
And she was South African woman. by the report in concert with her husband, and they were there. They were the big alleged big drug baron. And NDLA arrested the woman, and I just asked myself, so who are the drug pushers now? And that's what you do when you do stupid profiling. Yeah, one, two, or three, even if you have 100 people, 100 people, 99, 99 of the 100 are doing drugs. And say everybody, one still did not do drugs.
Yeah.
And you need to make a case for that one. Just like the case in the Bible. When Lot and they wanted to see
Sodom
whether
and Gomorrah.
they would destroy God. The man started, from my figure, and he got that to, and so you have to respect people. You don't just, put people together because you can see it and get away with it. And that coming from a woman is supposed to be compassionate. She was just catching the cruise. She doesn't realize that there are children, there are parents who are work. Yeah, the criminals among them should be punished according to the laws of the land. And that was what the Minister of State for the Foreign Affairs was saying. Look, if there are criminals has a right, they have a right to life. Yes, they are criminals, and that's why there are laws. Arrest them, process them according to the laws of the land, jail them, or even sentence them to death. You know that law will have taken the course. Don't just recourse to mob action. After that thing, there is a conspiracy, there is a collusion by the South African government. The president himself was talking from both sides of the mouth. They don't do xenophobia, the same stupid claims. With all this respect to them, that this guy, that Lamola guy who was, even at the offense, wanted to meet the Nigerian president. That's impossible now. From where to where?
Yeah.
But the president, my president, I was proud of it. He didn't. He said, you go and meet the minister, not even the full minister. That's what they call diplomatic smuggling. Well, we are going to talk to you, but it's going to be on our own time. And I'm proud the president did that. Go and meet the, minister of state. And the minister of state is not just a political appointee. It's a career, he has been a career ambassador. He was permanent secretary in foreign affairs. So it's not just some money minstrel, some office power push. It's a died in the old diplomat. So that was just tabling all what Nigeria would need. They are getting the data from all the people they are wrong, their businesses, their assets and all that, and they are going to table this for compensation. Fortunately, there is what they call early warning system in Nigerian South African memorandum of understanding. So they are going to trigger that, and we are going to see who will not pay compensation. But the government says something which they said everything, nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table. Nigeria will not recourse to mob action. You will not go after South Africans. We are not like that. Nigeria is too busy that you are too busy pushing your own husband to say this one is taking your job. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
We are too busy here. We are too accomplished. We are too self-centered. We are too self-assured to be going after that sort of basic. But Nigeria can have, because there are South African companies here who are making big money. All you need to do, you just table the convention. You are not going to seize their tax or something. Remove the sin, then put them the change. If they like that, it's their choice. But the government is telling them nothing is off the table, and they are better listen. Then there was this talk this morning that Taylor is coming to Nigeria for a show. And people are saying she's not welcome. She's not welcome. Unfortunately, Taylor is an artist, and I think to the extent that she has not spoken up against it is very unfortunate. And somebody made this example on this show this morning, which came to my mind. When Sonny Okosu, who wants to know who owns the land? It was a particular thing, composed for South African apartheid struggle. Very soulful. You listen to it, you want to pull up yourself, go and fight the white apartheid. Nigeria spent millions of dollars, billions into doing something. And what are we getting paid for? All this ungratitude, all this sort of thuggish and louting behavior is. It's like since Mandela died, since the Mandela died, he took every strand of South African humanity with him to the game. and the remaining are just beasts who are just who are just hurting and harming their fellow Africans, and they see to the white mass. I think their psyche is just battered. Maybe we should pity them. But again, we should get our record straight. Nigeria must demand justice for people who have been deported, people who have been killed, their family they have a right to claim compensation for the life wasted. We should insist on that as the very basis of any job. Any other thing is not acceptable. So what the government is doing, they have my full support.
Yeah, thank you very much. From what I picked from what you said, there are options that the Nigerian government has that will force the hand of the South African government to not make them trivialize the matter. A lot of lives have been lost, and a lot of families have also been displaced as well. So hopefully compensation can be gotten for them. We really hope that the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs will be able to negotiate on some of these cases.
You know his name, Enekon.
Yes, Enekon.
Nobody has monopoly of madness. So let that one sink in.
Yeah. Also, lastly, the ADC, the Accord Party as well, the appeal court yesterday restored them and voided the judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja that deregistered these parties. We've spoken about it before on this show, hoping that the appeal court will reach a judgment, and we'll discuss this judgment that they reach. So what are your thoughts, sir?
Nothing to say, just like what I said. I want to ask the people, was it the federal government that went to the court to correct them again, or did the court process correct itself?
Yeah.
You see, when something happens, people go to this they make wild allegation as if they are children. They remark and they force people that they are saying that it was the federal government who was pulling the puppet and puppeteers around all those conspiracy theories. Now I want to ask them, was it the same federal government that went to caution and by the way, that was the unanimous decision, Suleiman?
Yeah.
That's okay. They said it was even judicial rascality or whatever, something like that. So the court would correct itself. A judge will make a verdict on the facts before him. Even if the appeal court said that it was judicial rascality or something to that effect, that still was not enough to impine on the honor of the judge, because the judge will judge on the basis of facts in front of him. If those facts pointed to his verdict, so be it. Now a higher court has corrected it. Even more beautiful, if they take it into if the people who have been the people who got the judgment for, if they want to go to the Supreme Court, let them go.
Yeah.
Let the court settle. We are civilized. We are not South African that was pounds of people on the street. We are civilized people now. You can't be imputing motives. Motive, you know yourself that it's not right. Motive, you know that you are lying to just get a political sympathy, and the market system is not right. We have only one country. We have only one system. This is the latest thing. Now you see the scandal of Abacha there, the controversy.
Yes.
That one, what do I call it? A woman of cheap virtue. The way he died, according to the Amaki report, was that Abacha had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend took a younger sister, who, by the way, wasn't an illiterate, a trained pharmacist who went to Abuja for a conference. So you get to that, if Mobi is the man that money. They go to the place. Abacha side is drifted from the girlfriend to the younger sister, and they swap places. Unfortunately, he died on top of the girl, from Amaki report. Now, people are now saying that Al-Rufai, Al-Mustafa, I don't know. I don't know. He was the boy. I see that guy was older than him. He retired as the guy was retired as the level of a brigadier there. He retired as a bloody major, for God's sake. And you are telling him the boy. What I'm saying is that we have a system, a democratic system. Imagine what was happening under military rule. And that's why you must treasure our democracy. Yeah, I'm not saying that this one is perfect. You don't know what people are doing under the scale, behind the curtains, even now. But we have a system that can probe and get justice, other things being equal. And that's the beauty of democracy. So anybody that comes and be saying all sorts of nonsense that because you have a slight setback, the government is well, Tinubu has said is trying to raise the cost. Where will that lead anybody? Is it back to this jungle that we just came from? We just escaped this as 27th year now. How many years?
Of democracy, yes.
So let's treasure what we have. All these people shooting their trap. I don't think it's the right thing.
Yeah.
People should be responsible. If you go to court, you get a judgment, you everybody take it. If you don't like it, go to the appeal. The court processes will correct themselves, not outside, not by blackmail, not by impunity, not by perjuring people, and that's the way to go.
Yeah. A lot of this political, fights, especially from this issue of the Federal High Court, it can make citizens of the country lose faith in the systems of authority.
Yes, and that's a very dangerous thing, because you still don't have, as of today, democracy is not perfect. It's never been perfect anywhere. But as of today, it's still the best form of governance for for people, equal opportunity, rule of law, checks and balances. Those are the things. Even in America, 250 years, the people who formulated this particular brand of democracy. In the UK, their democracy was the classic.
Yeah.
But it's a blend of monarchy and republicanism. Monarchy and elected, it's not really a republic, it's a monarchy. But then it's a part republican, because you can still be elected to any office in Britain, even if you're a common person. But the only position you cannot reach is to be the king.
Yeah.
So that's why it's monarchy and republic. There's a graft of republicanism. Here is out and out republicanism. There's no monarchy, just as in the US, and that's the system the US invented. But look at the mess Trump is making out of the thing. This is a president who will be teaching state people to rig electoral, to do what they call gerrymandering. A sitting president, no president will do it in Nigeria and survive, and yet at 250, Trump is doing it in the US. That shows that the system, of course, the US system is very strong. As he was doing it, they are going back at him.
Yeah.
The system is repelling him, and all that. You'll find that at the end of the day, he will not have been able to do much more damage than it has if the thing had not been for 250 years. But the point I'm making is that at 250 years, you see somebody who came and tried to crash the system. And here we are just building. We are 27 years. Even if we had the earlier attempts at democracy, 6 years at maybe you can do the math. 6 years, is it 5 years? The government was overthrown in January, October 1st, 1960 to January 15, 1966. That's 5 years basically. 5 years and 4 months. Added to 4 years of this, maybe max 10 years. Added to 2 years of the stillbirth Third Republic, 2 years. So that's 6 plus 4, 10 plus 2, 12. Add that one to 27
That's
years.
39 years. 39 years.
Still below 40 years.
Yeah.
And we are not, and you need to build this system. And I'm happy, because if you contrast and these are facts now, if you compare the status, the polity between 1999 and 2015, there are a lot of mistakes were made. And rightly to call it was a new experiment. Then from 2015 to now, there have been a lot of changes at the federal level, because now you can point to what somebody is doing. The government can now say, look, I'm developing every part of the country. And they can point to specific projects ongoing. The other time, we can just stop launching, commissioning for 30 days running. Commissioning projects in Abuja, it has never happened in the history of the country. Then over the Minister of Works, it's all over the place. This is what we are doing, and I don't think that as the road is going on. And it was the Buhari government that started this renaissance of infrastructure, which is the key to driving and building the economy. So things are happening, And the more we go to democracy, the more we change our leadership, the more we apply our checks and balances, things are getting progressively better. So why do you want to lapse off the system because you lost a case temporarily where you can appeal the thing and get the thing corrected? So I think they should be really advised as to stop all this white talking, because at the end of the day, what you are doing is the marketing is them and try to put that and that is a treasonable felony in politics, which is not addressable.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. We hope that our listeners will enjoy the conversations that we've had today about the trending issues in Nigeria. We'll catch you in the next show where we'll also be discussing some issues as the 2027 elections is coming up. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.